Yes. Next is Julia Sunguli in the house. Yes, Tongo, can you respond to Julia Sunguli's request?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It was a little bit discussion with a member from Gariza, Major. Honorable Speaker, in regards to the issue of Honorable Sunguli, in a matter concerning security at Angata Barikoi, Kilgoris, the Member of Parliament in particular wanted to know the circumstances surrounding the livestock theft incident, the death of the anti-stock theft unit officer. May his soul rest in eternal peace, and measures taken to investigate the case and apprehend the suspect.
Yes, Baba.
The reason for alleged confiscation of livestock belonging to the members of the local community, and an indication on when the livestock will be returned to the innocent residents, and the measures being taken to ensure protection of residents, restoration of law and order, and prevention of further violation of human rights in Angata Barikoi. Honorable Speaker, I want to respond as follows. On the 19th June, a known number of livestock was stolen from the Kuria community at Kuitembe area, Kuria West Sub-County within the Migori County. A contingent of police officers drawn from the Angata Barikoi Police Station, Angata ASTU, responded promptly with the aim of recovering the livestock and apprehending the perpetrators. The officers encountered about 40 suspected cattle rustlers armed with automatic rifles and Keturo area, Ngedale location. A fierce exchange of gunfire ensued between the two parties. During the confrontation, a police officer, number 114287 APC Joseph Owino, attached to Angata Barikoi ASTU, sustained a gunshot wound on his back near his hip joint. The officer was evacuated from the scene and rushed to Angata Barikoi Health Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. His body was moved to Transmara West mortuary for preservation pending postmortem examination, and the incident was booked at Angata Barikoi Police Station, VIDO bin number 519 of 2026 at 19 hours. On the 20th June, 2026, the postmortem examination was conducted on the body of the deceased, and the pathologist formed the opinion that the cause of death was massive hemorrhage secondary to penetrating abdominal wound sustained from the back. An inquiry file was opened to establish the circumstances surrounding the shooting and subsequent death of the officer. On the second reason for alleged confiscation of the livestock, there is no record, Honorable Speaker, of any livestock having been recovered or confiscated by the police, and no livestock is being held at Angata Barikoi Police Station or by ASTU to come awaiting release to the members of the public. Meanwhile, effort to trace and recover the stolen livestock and apprehend the perpetrators remain ongoing. That was by the time of writing of this report. And the situation is calm, Honorable Speaker, I can confirm. I am from that area as well. Honorable Speaker, following the incident of the 24th, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, accompanied by the Governor of Narok, and the elected leaders from the Transmara, to include the member who raised the question, and the area senator, and other leaders, engaged members of the local community with the aim of promoting peace, coexistence, and de-escalating tension arising from the incident. The Cabinet Secretary directed that all civilians in possession of the legal firearms to surrender them. In addition, the following measures have been undertaken to restore normalcy and safeguard the resident. Security agencies have been intensifying foot and mobile patrol. There is intelligent gathering operation ongoing to deter criminal activities and to prevent further insecurity and facilitate the recovery of the stolen livestock. Engagement of the community leaders, elders, and stakeholders to promote peace and dialogue. And all security operations in Angata Barikoi are being undertaken in strict adherence to the Constitution of Kenya, the National Police Service Act, and applicable human rights standards. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Julia Sunguli. If you are satisfied, you can
Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the chairman of the Committee for Internal Security for his report and answer. I wish to confirm, Mr. Speaker, that as soon as we asked the question, The responsible cabinet secretary, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, went to Angata Barikoi together with all of us and introduced certain measures that have since cooled the area. The situation is under control. Particularly, Mr. Speaker, the GSU camp was reintroduced at the border, and this has actually been very effective. Only yesterday, about 12 cows were stolen from the area of Ngendalil, and unlike in the past, the people from Kilgour, Transmara were able to cross to Kuria without a problem, and the GSU together with the citizens recovered 8 of those cows. The situation still remains, of course, an area to be watched because it is fragile. It's a border area. It borders Kenya and Tanzania. It borders the Kuria and the Kipsigis and the Maasai. It's a trigonometrical area that requires constant management. But I'm grateful that the minister has been able to do that, and I think that the chairman has given a satisfactory answer.
Thank you. We leave it lie there. Taitumu. Honorable Mwalimu Taitumu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I arise to make a personal statement regarding the passing on of my late beloved father, Mr. Patrick Ntwanaiba Baikelanya. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 44-2E, I arise to make a personal statement regarding the passing on of my late father, Mr. Patrick Ntwanaiba Baikelanya. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Patrick Baikelanya rested on 4th July 2026 after a glorious and well-lived life that was just 2 years to centenary. The death of my father leaves a void that no one can adequately capture. A father is a pillar, a compass, and a quiet strength behind a son's every step. Irrespective of the son's age, at the time of the demise of my father, without doubt, the news of his passing on overcame our family with immense grief. To us, it was an end of an era, yet the messages of condolences that poured from every corner of this country, led by His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, CGH, the Deputy President, His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki, NGH, the Speaker of this Honorable House, Right Honorable Dr. Moses Masika Wetangula, NGH MP, and various members of this Honorable House gave us the strength to accept the God's will and accord Mse a befitting send-off in honor of his life and legacy. Honorable Speaker, I wish to record my deepest gratitude to His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, for his message of comfort, the support extended to my family during this period of mourning. I am profoundly honored by the President's humility to have created time out of his busy schedule of the national duty to grace the funeral of my late father in Igembe North on the 11th July 2026. This Ngesa reaffirmed the President's firm belief in the values of compassion and solidarity that defines his leadership. I equally extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, Honorable Speaker, for the messages of condolence and the support that you accorded our family. The House leadership and my colleagues, members in this House, for personally reaching out and condoling with us both here in Nairobi and at our rural home in Igembe North. I am also grateful to the people of Igembe North, the community leaders, the church, the bonda operators, the traders, the farmers, and the youth who rallied around my family with the prayers, moral support, and material contributions to ensure my father was given a dignified send-off. To the Kilanje who ministered to us and to the elders who guided the rites according to our customs, I say thank you and God bless you. On behalf of the family of the late Mr. Patrick Ntoanaiba Wekilanya, I record our deepest gratitude and pray that his soul finds eternal peace in heaven. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Taitumo. May Mze's soul rest in eternal peace, and may your family have peace at this time. Honorable members, I acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery Uhuru Estate School from Embakasi, West Nairobi, Kakawa Primary and Junior Schools from Mbere North, Mbere South, Embu, Dev Amazing Schools, Naivasha, Nakuru, Gishami Junior Primary School from Othaya, Nyeri. In the public gallery, New Genesis School from Marakwet West, Elgeyo Marakwet. Mekorani Primary School from Mahara, Tharaka Nithi. Bright Star Chebulbai from Marakwet West, Elgeyo Marakwet. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Major Deko, member for Garissa Town.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to remind you or to remind the House that about 2 months ago I requested for a statement, and which was brought to the answer was brought to the House regarding a police officer, Adan Haret Loss, who went missing for the last 3 years or so.
Chairman Tongoyo, that reminder is directed at you.
Yes, and you promised that the chair of the Committee of Internal Security was to avail the Cabinet Secretary to a committee meeting so that we raise the issue. It's important to note, Honorable Speaker, that the answer that was provided here was not read on the floor of the House after consultation with the chair and myself and yourself, that it was not adequate. So the minister was supposed to appear in a committee meeting so that we address those issues. Up to now, we have no response from the chair.
Tongoyo, when is the minister appearing before your committee?
Honorable Speaker, if you may recall, when we were just about to break for recess, I did report to this House that the minister could not appear because he was attending a cabinet meeting. And to that effect, we have written again today a letter to ask him to appear next week but one.
Okay.
And Honorable Speaker, it's not just his question or statement rather. There were quite a number, more about 13 or so. So I call upon the colleague to be a bit patient, because we are trying to do anything possible to ensure that the minister will appear and we transact all these before the plenary of committee.
When is your next appearance?
It's a Thursday, next week.
Thursday after next week.
Exactly. We are trying to avoid Tuesday so that it does not get excuses or other is probably of cabinets.
So, Deco?
We have got equally a big pressure.
And make sure you inform the honorable member accordingly.
Yes.
Next order. Yes, hold on. Honorable Emathe. Yes, Honorable Emathe. Give him the mic.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to remind that on 30th June, you ruled that I receive a response on the operationalization of NAPETET ICT Hub in Turkana Central. This ICT Hub was completed under World Bank, implemented by Kenha in 2023. Right now, it is gathering dust, and this will be the first implementation or achievement on ICT in Turkana County ever since we took government. Speaker, As we speak about ICT Hub, the students who are listening have a direct benefit on this. But in Turkana, there is nothing called ICT Hub anywhere in Turkana County. This will be the first.
When can you respond? Give to KJ the mic.
Mr. Speaker, you had already issued direction on this.
Yes.
And yes, the committee has burnt the midnight oil. And God willing, we shall be presenting this next week. Since Thursday, we shall be having a baraza, and the committee might not be able to process the feedback that we are getting from the ministry. And Mr. Speaker, it is only just a slight correction that in the whole plan of the digital superhighway, Turkana is one of the biggest beneficiaries with the connection of the fiber optic cable that connects our republic to the South Sudan Republic. And even more advancement has been made in such a way that we have taken cognizance of the border issues at the Elmi Triangle, which has allowed for us to have two cables, a Kenyan cable going up to where Kenya believes our border gets to, and also another cable, the one coming from South Sudan, proceeding to where Sudan would want to contest the borders to. So, Honorable Speaker, it is a great question that the Honorable Member brought to the House, and it impacts on very many other members. And so we shall be presenting a very comprehensive response, God willing, this coming week. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, thank you, KJ. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, consideration of a petition on the management of hemophilia and other bleeding disorders.
Okay.
Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. CPA, take your seats. Is that Mutunga or Robert Mbui or Wanjala? Take your seats. Thank you. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Health on its consideration of the public petition number 01 of 2026 regarding management of hemophilia and other bleeding disorders among patients and children in the country, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 23rd June 2026. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 34 of 2023, second reading.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor. Is that Karemba? No. Who is the chair? Ken Chonga, where is he?
I was aware that the committee had not yet submitted the report on this, so it could be stood down.
Okay, I will stand it down for now. Go to order number 10.
Order number 10, motion, report of the Kenya delegation to the 151st Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU, and related meetings.
Who was the chair of the delegation to IPU in this regard? Who is it? Irene Mayaka, is it you? No. Meli Mabona? Meli Odhiambo is not here. Go to next order.
Order number 11, the Sports Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2026, second reading.
Irene Mayaka, are you ready to move this bill?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Sports Amendment Bill number 5 of 2026 be read a second time. Honorable Speaker, This particular bill, the main objective of the bill is actually to criminalize sports and match manipulation and match fixing in the country of Kenya. And what we've done, Honorable Speaker, is within the Sports Amendment Bill, it is that we have amended a couple of clauses so that it is in line with actually what we intend to do. Honorable Speaker, just to mention the specific sections that have been amended, we are amending Section 2 so that we introduce the definition of sports management, manipulation. Section 3 of the bill, which also just gives the specifics in terms of what it is that we are introducing and amending, and the manipulation of sports. Section 5, which also introduces the specifics in terms of the fines that will be charged. Honorable Speaker, just to give a background of this particular bill, is the legislative intent of this. Because, Honorable Speaker, we have had scenarios of match fixing, criminal offenses within the sports fraternity, but we do not have any specific laws that actually criminalize these particular vices. So for that reason, Honorable Speaker, and having looked at the various laws we have from other countries, and also the different regulations from the different federations that we have across the whole world, I thought it fit that we also have this in Kenya. Because, Honorable Speaker, sports integrity is very important for our country. It's very important because we are seeking to nurture sports and talent in this country of ours, but also we want to make sure that the young people, the talented people in the country, are not being injured by people who are only there to manipulate the system so that it actually favors them. Honorable Speaker, we have had very many feedback from the public in terms of public participation of what they think about this particular bill. And I know the sports committee will be represented so that they can give us the feedback that we've received. But, Honorable Speaker, just to thank the public for the overwhelming support for this particular piece of legislation. The background of this, Honorable Speaker, is foundation of sports. Sports is based on fairness, transparency, and public confidence. Integrity is currently at risk. And increasing reports globally and locally indicate growing attempts to improperly influence sporting outcome. Market pressure as well has also brought a lot of risk into the game. National interests, Honorable Speaker, this is also to protect the integrity of athletics, clubs, funds, and sponsors as well. Honorable Speaker, the legal context and the existing gaps. Regulatory deficit, if you look at the current Sports Act Cap 223, it does not contain any explicit provisions to criminalize sports manipulation. Enforcement barriers, current mechanism rely on association-level disciplinary action, which lack the weight of criminal law. And, Honorable Speaker, on this particular one, we are finding that most of the federations in this country, whether it is the Football Federation, the Basketball Federation, Netball Federation, Volleyball Federation, or the athletics part of it, when they are faced with such issues, they only do investigations within the federation, which is really not giving any particular third-party aspect or making sure that there's actual fairness where there's a criminal case. Structural weakness, the internal sporting bodies are often unequipped to handle organized criminal syndicates. And, Honorable Speaker, this is where the criminal aspect comes into play so that the specific criminal investigation bodies in the country can then be charged with ensuring that they do proper investigations into this. The solution, Honorable Speaker, is amendment bridges that bridges the gap by providing criminal sanctions and stronger investigative powers. Honorable Speaker, I had the option of looking at the different laws that we have in the country. The Sports Act, the Penal Code, the Criminal Act, all these particular laws. But it was actually easier for us to amend the Sports Act Cap 2023 so that we ensure that the definition of manipulation is put in place, the criminal aspect is put in place, and the offenses are also put in place in one particular law. Honorable Speaker, looking at the current Kenyan legal framework, the Sports Act of 2013 governs sports administration but contains no explicit match-fixing offenses in our country. If you look at the Penal Code, Cap 63, it covers general fraud, e.g. Section 315, which covers matters to do with cheating, but has no dedicated match fixing provision. If you look at the Anti-Doping Act, it focuses on banned substances, but nothing to do with match manipulation. If you look at the different sports federations, which I had alluded to, they currently rely on internal sanctions, bans, and suspensions because of the legal gap. But there's no specific criminal investigation procedure, which makes the process also become ununiform and sometimes, in some cases, largely unfair to most people. If you look at the Betting, Lottery, and Gaming Act, Cap 131, Section 61 prohibits cheating at bets, but penalizes, penalties are minimal, a maximum of 6 months. Honorable Speaker, I did have a look at the international standards that are currently there, especially in terms of the popular sporting activities we have in this country. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the FIFA Code of Ethics 2023, it prohibits any involvement in match manipulation and requires reporting of corruption approaches. If you look at the FIFA Disciplinary Code of 2023, it imposes a minimum 5-year ban and a fine of 100,000 euros for anyone manipulating a match. If you look at the McCollin Convention 2019, Honorable Speaker, and I know you're aware of this because you're a sports person, First International Treaty on Sports Manipulation, it urges states, sports bodies, and betting operators to cooperate and to prevent, detect, and sanction fixed competitions. Honorable Speaker, a case study of some of the countries that do have criminalizing of match fixing laws in their countries. I give an example of Italy. The Italian laws 401/198 criminalizes fraud in sports competition, offering, promising, or accepting money or other advantages to alter any event's outcome. Penalties include 2 to 6 years imprisonment and fines for match fixing. The Italian FA Justice Code also gives a lot more emphasis on this. Notable example is the 206 Calipoli scandal, which saw some top clubs and officials face sporting criminal sanctions. And Honorable Speaker, if you remember the very famous story of some of the famous clubs like Juventus, which had to actually be relegated, some of the very stringent cases that actually made some of these big clubs fall. A case study of Brazil as well, general sports law explicitly prohibits manipulation of sports results. Any bets tied to fixed outcomes are declared void. Honorable Speaker, giving an example of the cases that we've had in Kenya that actually motivated me to bring this particular law. Some of the cases we've had are like the Nairobi City Stars. Multiple attempts league fixes of City Stars premium matches between 2021 and 2023 were uncovered, and this was the 4th attempt in 3 years for the club. In 2023, police arrested 3 suspects, Kenyan, Ugandan, and Russian, after sting operations that had offered City Star players a huge sum of money so that they can throw away the match. And Honorable Speaker, if you go into the YouTube channel and just look at some of the cases that we've had, especially in our country in Kenya in terms of match fixing, they're very sad cases because they have resulted in killing dreams for young people who really want to do their best in this particular field. The legal foundation and definition of manipulation, Honorable Speaker, as I said, Clause 3 empowers Sports Kenya with statutory authority. It gives a definition of what the unified reporting hub could look like, interagency collaboration, authorities, joint investigation between Sports Kenya and national investigation agencies, statutory timelines, requiring that all investigations to be concluded within a strict 6-month period to ensure efficiency in justice, systemic oversight, centralizing the monitoring of sports integrity under a single accountable statutory bodies. The penalties that we've introduced, Honorable Speaker, and I know we had a lot of feedback from the public in terms of they feel like the penalties that I had introduced are not stringent enough. And so, Honorable Speaker, without preempting debate, the Sports Committee will be represented and they'll give us an account of some of the feedback that they did receive from different Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, in terms of professional consequences, bans and forfeitures, again, very important. One of the amendments that I have introduced is match forfeiture, organizational ineligibility, lifetime prohibitions, and disciplinary harmony. Honorable Speaker, the strategic impact, accountability, and national reputation. If you look at clause number 4, it gives you a detailed view of what exactly this will entail. Due to giving an example of the process via appeals, sports tribunal, global alignment, ethic governance, fiscal neutralities. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I just wish to appall the members of this House to support this particular bill. Let us, as members of Parliament, because we have constituents, we have county representation, the whole country at large that has very many sports people. And Honorable Speaker, when I speak about sports, I'm not only looking at the football space, I'm also looking at the basketball space, the netball space, the athletic space, all the sports that you can think about in this particular world. Let us, as members of National Assembly, take the frontline stage in ensuring that we are protecting the sports integrity in this country, because this will really help to ensure that we are clearing the path and making sure that sports integrity in our country is at the center front, and that anyone who seeks to come and try to prevent the young people of our country from having a fair chance at improving their talents and nurturing and growing their talent are able to do that without the fear that someone who has deep pockets can actually come in and manipulate their opportunities. Honorable Speaker, with those remarks, I wish to move the bill and ask my colleague, Honorable Charles Nguna, to second. I thank you.
Well, before Charles seconds you, honorable members, let me acknowledge and in the speakers gallery and the public gallery, the presence of the following schools. Kamasai School of Marakwet West Constituency, Elgeyo Marakwet County. We also have Lelit Primary Junior School of Moiben Constituency, Uasin-Gishu County. We equally have Meteitei. This should interest the Chair of Education. Meteitei Second School of Tindret Constituency, Nandi County. Honorable members, we further have the two following schools. We have Guakarim Second School from Beere South Constituency, Embu County. And finally, we have Moi Awalo Senior School from Kurusoi South, Nakuru. On behalf of the members of this House and the House at large, I want to welcome those schools to this honorable House. You may proceed to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I begin this journey of seconding this motion, let me take this opportunity to welcome these students.
Thank you. Proceed.
In National Assembly, especially the students from Beere who are my neighbors. As you know, I come from Mwingi West, and Beere is just bordering Mwingi West constituency. So welcome. Oh, Moimben have been in your constituency, Marakwet and Tinderet also have been there. So welcome to the National Assembly. This is where we legislate and also allocate resources countrywide, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by congratulating and appreciating Honorable Irene Mayak for coming up with such a legislative proposal, Mr. Speaker, to bring the integrity and also transparency in sports fraternity, Mr. Speaker. From the onset, it is worthy to note that Irene Mayak has set records, and congratulations, the Honorable Lady. if at all Nyamira people are listening, they should give you an opportunity to serve as their women rep in this august house. And I am wishing you the success in your journey. Let me also take this opportunity to inform ODM, you have one of the best legislators in this country in Irene Mayak, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is worthy to note that we have walked a long journey when we came up with this motion, and it is also worthy to note that Irene Mayak and myself, Irene is a Manchester United fan and an Arsenal fan, and we are passionate. We have fought since our childhood. When we used to be in university, when we used to be in school, you could see the passion in football, and that is why Irene Mayak is coming up with this proposal to clean up the sports industry, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the bill is essentially actually seeking to amend Sports Act, Cap 2022-23, by doing 4 specific things. Number 1, it is going to introduce by criminalizing offense for the manipulation of sports competition. Number 2, it is going to grant Sports Kenya the express mandate to receive reports and conduct investigation when it comes to issues of sports manipulation. And the other one, which is very important, it is going to establish strict 6-month timeline for the conclusion of investigation. As you are aware, most of the issues which have been taken to court, Mr. Speaker, they might end up taking over years. But this one, it is strictly specifying the number of the timeline you can actually do an investigation and do everything, Mr. Speaker. The 4th issue, it is going to provide for severe penalties, including the imprisonments, fines, and forfeiture of the gains, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, athletes and clubs, even fans and sponsors, always advocate for fairness and transparency as far as competitions are concerned. And this bill, Mr. Speaker, we noted that there is existing gaps in the current legislation. When it came to the issues of regulatory deficit, the existing gap, this gap does not contain explicit provision to criminalize sports manipulation. That is why we want this bill to pass. Then, of course, the current mechanism relies on association level and disciplinary actions, which lacks the weight of criminal law, Mr. Speaker. And if you look at the current situation, of course, Sports Act 2013 governs sports administration, but does not explicitly explain the issues of match fixing offenses in our nation. Mr. Speaker, the penal code, which is Cap 63, covers general fraud like cheating, which is, but has no dedicated match fixing provision. And that is why we want some of these issues to be addressed in this bill. Mr. Speaker, we have been dealing with the issues of anti-doping, and it covers only banned. We have seen so many athletes being banned, but it does not actually explicitly explain issues of match manipulation, and that is why we want to come up with this. Mr. Speaker, the sports federations, which actually in Kenya we have around 40 now, currently rely on internal sanctions, but it lacks the legislative gaps there. And that is why we are seeking to align this legislative proposal with international standards. If you look at the FIFA regulation, the FIFA Code of Ethics, it prohibits any involvement in match manipulation and requires reporting of corrupt approaches. But here in Kenya, do we have it? That is why we want to align the proposal, the proposed amendments to this Cap 223 to align with the FIFA Codes of Conduct. Mr. Speaker, while Irene Mayak did so much research, she researched in Italy, she has also done in Brazil, which is the record time orders, 5 times World Cups. And congratulations to Spain for winning the recent World Cup. It actually, in Brazil, any involvement with match manipulation amounts to 2 or 6 years in prison. But here in Kenya, we don't have. We are proposing anyone who is found of guilt of sports manipulation will face either 2 to 6 years of imprisonment or a fine of not more than 1 million shillings, Mr. Speaker. Some of these issues we have proposed here and legislative proposals align to other international standards. And Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I fully support this motion and urge members of this August House to please support it so that we can bring integrity in our sports fraternity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well seconded. Honorable members, I now do propose the question, which is that the Sports Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2026, be now read a second time. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. And I want to first congratulate the Honorable Irene Mayaka as I take on to support her bill, the Sports Amendment Bill 2026. Honorable Speaker, this is a very fundamental piece of legislation in the sports fraternity. Mr. Speaker, this piece of legislation will revolutionize how sports administration, how sportsmen, how teams, how sports administrators behave in the space within which they are operating. Honorable Speaker, if you will be interested to know, if you look at this act, Honorable Speaker, the principal act is amended in section 4 by inserting new paragraphs, Honorable Speaker, and giving more powers to Sports Kenya. And the powers that are being given to Sports Kenya, the new powers, Honorable Speaker, include 1, to receive any reports from any person who suspects acts of manipulation in any sports competition. That is 1. The second important fundamental function that is now being given to Sports Kenya, Honorable Speaker, is to conduct investigation of alleged manipulation in sports competition in collaboration with other investigative agencies. Sports Kenya now is being given new important powers. Honorable Speaker, another power that is being given to Sports Kenya in the realm of stopping manipulation of sporting activities, Honorable Speaker, is the investigations referred to in subsection 1 PB shall be conducted within 6 months. There is a limitation on time, Honorable Speaker. Cases have dragged in court for many years, Honorable Speaker, over these situations. But now, Honorable Irene Mayaka, in her graciousness, has said we must do it within 6 months, Honorable Speaker. But fundamentally, Honorable Speaker, are the changes that are coming in when we are looking at section 64 of the Principal Act. Mr. Speaker, the mover of this bill is introducing section 64A, which actually is very fundamental. A person who participates directly or indirectly or aids, enables, or assists in the manipulation of a sports competition commits an offense and shall be liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or to a fine not exceeding 1 million. I would have suggested 5 million, but the Honorable Irene Mayaka thinks 1 million is okay. But these days, 1 million is easy to come by. Honorable Speaker, we should have gone to 5 million so that teams, Honorable Speaker, a team trains, people invest money, they invest energy, they invest a lot of things. They come to a match in a tournament, and one person, either a coach, an administrator, or a player, compromises the whole team by compromising with some people, and therefore you lose a match because that person will be given money at the end of it. That's an offense, that's criminal, and it must be stopped. And I like the way Irene Mayaka has put it here, Honorable Speaker. Again, Honorable Speaker, in part 2 of 64, where a professional sports person, and I like the word professional sports person, or a club engages in conduct described in section 1, the club or the association to which they belong may be sanctioned with the forfeiture of the match in question, or may be declared. Honorable Speaker, the one who compromises and the one who is compromised. The one who compromises is being dealt with in section 2, the part 2 here, Honorable Speaker. You know, there was a time we had, I don't know whether it is true, you know, Mr. Speaker, you are a sports person. But I hear there was a time when Gor Mahia, is it Gor Mahia, Mr. Speaker? Yes. I think they were playing against FC Leopards. In Sudan. Yeah. And Kenya lost the match because one of the goalkeepers, I don't know whether it's a goalkeeper or whoever, had taken a bribe. And the match was lost. Now, in this case, Honorable Speaker, the one who has been manipulated must be jailed and pay a fine. And the one who also manipulated must also face the consequences, Honorable Speaker. And that is why part 2 is very important. Part 3, Honorable Speaker, where the offender is a club. Sometimes clubs sit to plan to manipulate, or clubs sit to plan to be manipulated, Honorable Speaker. That one too must be sanctioned. That one too must. And where the offender gains any proceeds, and you know sometimes, my friend Oundo here, you know, professor, who is a very able debater, and I hope the members of Funyula will re-elect him on a UDA ticket, Honorable Speaker, because where he's going to lose. But if he vies on a UDA ticket, he might win, or broad-based, he might win, Honorable Speaker. I know, you know, he's a man of integrity, and he wouldn't want to see sports being manipulated. And therefore, I'm sure he will support where the offender gains any proceeds or benefits as a result of sports manipulation, he shall be subjected to forfeiture. Whatever amount you receive, you must forfeit it. So that, because crime does not pay, we must make sure that sports manipulation, criminals and crimes never pay anyone. You must forfeit the funds and bring the money back, Honorable Speaker. These are fundamental changes, Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank the Honorable Irene Mayaka for bringing this bill. And you can say it makes sense. When you read it, you understand it, it makes sense. And if it makes sense and it is good, it doesn't need to be fixed. So I wish, Honorable Speaker, you just bring here the Committee of the Whole today and we finish with it. Because this is good. This is fundamental. And this, when it is good, it should not be fixed. It should be passed so that the sports fraternity, Honorable Speaker.
You are the leader of the House. And you know the importance of procedure.
Of course. I'm saying it in jest, Honorable Speaker. I'm saying it in jest. Now, I want to say a few things, Honorable Speaker. Competitions, and this is the anchor, competitions that we have in this country depend entirely on fairness, transparency, and public confidence. And when we bring in issues of someone being compromised, Honorable Speaker, then we lose the issues of fairness, transparency, and public confidence. Those guys out there, the sports people in football, in basketball, in athletics, in any other kind of sport, Honorable Speaker, that allow themselves to be manipulated or to manipulate others are killing sports. The spirit of sports, the spirit of fairness, the spirit of transparency, the spirit of public confidence, Honorable Speaker, they kill it. And Honorable Speaker, the risk is that We are killing those young people that work so hard. We are killing their spirit. We are killing sportsmanship, Honorable Speaker, and this must be stopped. And I like that today the Honorable Irene Mayaka is putting the first roadblock towards ensuring that no one ever goes into that kind of realm, Honorable Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, sometimes market pressures, right now with SportsPesa, with all these new betting companies coming in, Honorable Speaker, they can actually easily manipulate young people that they may compromise a match or a game or a sport just because they want someone to win big in a betting event, Honorable Speaker. And this law actually comes at such a good time. Honorable Speaker, you know I'm on fire. And please don't switch on the microphone for me. So, Honorable Speaker,
Leader,
it is very...
please wind up.
It is very important, Honorable Speaker, that we bring integrity into sports. When we bring integrity in sports, Honorable Speaker, people will want to be in that space. They will compete fairly and will see talent. Actually, this bill speaks into talent, and talent is important. We must. Honorable Speaker, when I see a beautiful stadium, like the stadium called Telanta, or the Raila Odinga International Stadium, when I see that, when I see the stadium that is being built in Kilifi, when I see this government investing in stadiums all over, including in Ukambani, where my friend, the ranking member, Macau, comes from. I see a stadium, it's called Ithokwe. What is the name of that stadium? When I see stadiums being built, I see this country is investing in sports. It is investing in talent. It is investing in young people. And because of that, we have to protect sportsmen, young sportsmen and young sports ladies, Honorable Speaker, out there to make sure that we bring integrity into sports and we allow people to thrive in sports. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support this bill, and I want to thank and congratulate. You know, she's a first-time member of Parliament, but you have done well. Irene Mayaka, you've done extremely well. I have seen several bills that have come from you, and I think you are a blessing. And those that vote for you, I want to ask them, from the floor of this hallowed Parliament, vote for Irene Mayaka for whichever position she requests. We need her in this House. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Before the next member speaks to this, allow me to acknowledge in the presence of the Speaker's Gallery and equally public gallery the following schools. We have Turisho Junior School from Narok West, Narok County. We also have Akiba School from Westlands constituency, Nairobi. We equally have Wiyu Mirire Comprehensive School from Laikipia East constituency, Laikipia County. On behalf of the members and this House, we welcome you to Parliament. Let's have Wilberforce Oundo to speak to this.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Also, let me join my colleagues in supporting the bill that has been presented by Irene Mayaka, a strong lady of the ODM party. And let me also put on notice minority whip, majority whip, that I know he has coveted me for so many years, but you tawe. Tawe kabisa. Honorable Speaker, let me echo the opening remarks by Irene Mayaka that sports should be free, fair, and accountable. That a team or a sportsman should win in a fair, transparent manner without any form of manipulation or undue advantage. That is the beauty of the sport. Sport, Honorable Speaker, is a talent, and at any given time, anybody should be allowed to express their talent without being conditioned, without being, manipulated. Honorable Speaker, I have been an ardent football fan. I have played football for many, many years at a very low level for obvious reason. And at any given time, losing a match where you felt you had lost unfairly was very devastating, and it can hurt emotions, and it can hurt spirits, and it can hurt very many things. And in very many cases, Honorable Speaker, where I come from, a match between two rival teams never ends in peace, because no team ever accepts it has lost a match. There must always be a fight. For many years, there was always a memorable fight between Lakeview and Busijo United. There was no way the match was going to end unless it has ended in a draw. So you can see how emotive, how emotionally charged can be a game of any forms of sports. Honorable Speaker, that's why I allowed the efforts by Honorable Irene Mayaka, to bring into this parliament an attempt to criminalize match fixing, manipulation, to make it a criminal offense or a penal offense. But Honorable Speaker, I would also want to get wisdom from her that I know in many jurisdictions, these matters are dealt at the federation level or the sports association level, and they have done it so effectively, probably without having a specific act of parliament to do so. But I'll work with her wisdom, noting the weaknesses of many of our sports federations and our sports club in this country. However, Honorable Speaker, and I hope she's listening to me, in the definition of manipulation, Honorable Speaker, I think C, the definition of manipulation of sports competition, might be too harsh, might be too radical, where it says intentions fails to perform to the best of their abilities to achieve a predetermined outcome. Honorable Speaker, I want to do this. I want to be very obvious. There used to be a lot of witchcraft in football. That one I know, a lot of witchcraft. So sometimes, Honorable Speaker, punishing a goalkeeper or punishing a striker for failing to score, we must in any way be very clear on this matter. You might also be on medical grounds. It could also be just a case of inability to perform to the expected level because you are not up to the act. Probably we must temper this definition to avoid punishing natural failure or natural low talent in that particular area. Honorable Speaker, the issue of investigations. With the current technology, we do believe 6 months is unnecessarily too long, because what happens between the allegation and the time the player is punished, because there's no provision for suspension, it means the player could continue participating in any sports activity to the detriment of the sports. So, Honorable Speaker, I would suggest that a period of 6 months is inordinately too long. We need to look at it whichever way. Probably reduce it to 3 months or even a few weeks or a few days, because nowadays manipulation would start some kind of personal contacts or communication. And that particular communication, if you get a serious investigative agency, they must be able to tie it up and trace the movements from one point to another, so that we avoid this kind of an ordinary delay in that matter. Honorable Speaker, the fines proposed under New Clause 64A, yes, they might be reasonable, but again, yes, we want to criminalize, but we need to not make it extremely too punitive. Sometimes you are manipulated unknowingly. You are manipulated unknowingly. To be punished to this extent, there must be some room of mitigation. And Honorable Speaker,
the Honorable Member for that, yes, what's your point of order? Yes, Jalas, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hear Dr. Oundo saying that the proposed fines are very lenient. They should be very punitive, because if you see what it takes for our sportsmen, the training, the vigorous nights that they go through. Mr. Speaker, you yourself, you are a sportsman, and I've seen you participate even in the Bunge FC. Can you imagine if you are going to a match after all this training, then it is a predetermined outcome, or you are part of a team that its members have decided how the match and the scores will be. It's almost like betting. It is almost like wasting people's time. You don't have to wake up, you don't have to train if people have already determined what the scores will be. I think these proposed fines are actually very okay.
Very well,
and Mr.
we have
Undo, you yourself, you are a sports person. I don't know, that's why you actually played football in low levels.
Order.
Chair,
We have
Honorable
heard you.
Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let's be proportionate to the awards to the tournament. We used to run CDF tournaments where the awards was 100, 200. Punishing somebody who allegedly conspired to manipulate a game. You are asking him to pay 1 million, and probably what he took home, the award is only 100,000 for the winning team.
Order,
That's why I'm saying we
Oundo.
need to be proportionate.
Oundo, speak to the matter. We shall have the third reading.
Yes,
where
we
all
need to
this
be
will happen.
proportionate.
Proceed.
I totally agree, Honorable Speaker, that whatever we establish that there was financial inducement, that must be forfeited. That must be forfeited to the state, because that is extremely unfair. But Honorable Speaker, for us even to start thinking of criminalizing, even putting into law, a matter of integrity goes to the depth, to the heart of the character of this society. Honorable Speaker, we have been conditioned to such an extent that winning seems to be everything. We have pushed our children, we have pushed everybody to an extent that failing to win becomes a source of humiliation. If only we could take sports as a sports, we could take political competition as political competition, that let the people decide. We will never need to get into this legislation. Let people go and compete. Let them go and compete just like anybody else. Honorable Speaker, just like when we used to be young, you'd go to a night dance, and whoever dances best is one who takes the girl. And there was never war. There was never any fight. There was no manipulation. It was easy. There was no financial inducement, Honorable Speaker. Why can't society get to that level? What stops us doing that, Honorable Speaker? With those few remarks, I support, and I want to congratulate Irene. You're on the right part of history, but come where people are. So that we want you back in this house in the 14th Parliament. Linda Mwananchi where people are. Thank you, Honorable.
Honorable KJ. Yes, we.
Mr. Speaker, this is Parliament at work, and I must congratulate my former colleague in our CII committee, who is proving to be a really effective member of Parliament with such amazing legislative proposals as the one that is before us. Mr. Speaker, I do stand to support the amendments that are being proposed by Honorable Irene Nyakerero Mayaka. Mr. Speaker, the reason for supporting these amendments is because I see the legislative effort that the lady is putting into this bill. In clause 2, the Honorable Irene Nyakerero is looking to define manipulation, especially in football matches, Mr. Speaker. And we all know, even watching what has just ended, the World Cup, we know what manipulation does to the sporting game, to the beautiful game, and the effect it has even on the posterity, not only of the players, but also of the game, but even more so, the integrity, Mr. Speaker. And so, she is suggesting that we should input a comprehensive 5-part statutory definition that is covering the critical issues of bribery, of conspiracy, of deliberate underperformance where teams just decide to give away a match, misuse of insider information and coercion. And this, Mr. Speaker, if it were the only amendment, it would make grand changes to how the game is played in this country, Mr. Speaker. In clause 3, the Honorable Nyakererio is asking that we should look at the investigative powers for Sports Kenya, and she's seeking to amend Section 4, Cap 233, which grants Sports Kenya 2 new functions. She is seeking for us to input the power to receive reports of suspected manipulation, and she's also looking to see that if we can look at the mandate to conduct investigations in collaboration with other agencies, as she has provided for in the paragraphs PB. Mr. Speaker, this becomes of great concern to us as Kenyans. Even as we spoke about political integrity, we know how emotive football can get. And we also know that when we speak about corruption, Mr. Speaker, corruption is a vice that pervades beyond just the public offices we speak about, all the way into sporting offices, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of the key reasons that I stand to support this is because of the matters that Honorable Nyakererio brings, where she is seeking to extend the Sports Dispute Tribunal jurisdiction to be able to hear appeals that are arising specifically from Sports Kenya's decisions on manipulation. Mr. Speaker, if we do this, we start walking in the direction of cleaning up the beautiful sport in the Republic. Mr. Speaker, we have to understand that we are legislating at a time when sport is changing drastically, Mr. Speaker. If you looked at the interest in this, in the football of our country, that the interest that is shown by even the betting firms, it ought to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that this law is needed as soon as yesterday. People are placing massive bets on every match that is being played in our stadiums, Mr. Speaker. And so, with this explosion of sports betting, we also must regulate the game so that the game is not manipulated by these people who are in the betting, Mr. Speaker, where we get a case of the tail wagging the dog, where we would want for the dog to be wagging the tail. Mr. Speaker, sports betting becomes a big component of sport globally. But in Kenya, Mr. Speaker, if you were to look at the monies that are in sports betting in our country today, then you would see the reason why it is important for us to institute these changes that Honorable Nyakererio is asking us to do. Mr. Speaker, in clause 5, Honorable Nyakererio is looking to work on the enforcement. Mr. Speaker, there has to be a big stick wielded to ensure the sanity of the game, this very beautiful game. And it becomes even more important, Mr. Speaker, as Kenya seeks to host international derbies and tournaments. Mr. Speaker, not too far away from where I live, not too far away from our constituencies. In fact, it is across the road in Honorable Jalango's constituency. There is a new massive sports establishment coming up in the name of the Raila Odinga Talanta Stadium, Mr. Speaker. And you can imagine the sporting business that comes about with the improvement of stadia and the improvement of sporting facilities across the country. Not less, Mr. Speaker, the very new stadia that are being built around the country. Mr. Speaker, this parliament is also on record working with the Youth Fund to institute another level of sporting stadia across the Republic, Mr. Speaker, beyond the stadiums that are being built by the national government. This is telling us something, Mr. Speaker, that this parliament has to be alive to the fact that by acting on the sports legislation and laws, we are not only speaking to sport, we are speaking to the livelihood of the people that we represent. This goes beyond football. It goes beyond sports. It goes even into the economy of this country, Mr. Speaker, because we who are in Gando Ward are looking forward to the tournaments that are coming at the end of the year. In fact, there are people in Ganda Ward who are already clearing their houses to be able to host spectators who shall be coming for the continental tournaments that will be happening at Talanta Stadium and other stadia in this republic towards the end of the year. Mr. Speaker, I am looking forward to the committee of the whole house so that we would be able to polish some of these recommendations that Honorable Irene Mayaka is proposing, to fine-tune them to a level where we bring our sport to the level where we would want Kenya to be as a leader globally, because, Mr. Speaker, we are reminded very well that it never matters even how many medals we win in athletics. And our athletes are doing great work, especially our middle distance and long distance athletes. They are winning gold medals across the world. However, football remains the sport of our country. In every sense of the word, football is our national sport as a Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And I am coming from a constituency that has produced national stars in football. We are creating stars that go beyond our borders, Mr. Speaker. When we talk about the Dennis Olieches of this world, when we talk about the Marigas of this world, when we talk about the leagues that are playing in the Dagoretti South constituency, up to and including the tournaments that I was hosting this last weekend and the previous weekend, where we were able to beat some teams from Jalango's constituency, but unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, Jalango ran away with the cup, even when he was playing in our home soil, Mr. Speaker. And this speaks to sport development and the role of the leaders, especially members of parliament. And we are doing this at a time when we know, Mr. Speaker, that NGCDF can no longer be able to fund our sports tournament in the constituency, Mr. Speaker. And so I shall end by saying that because the Constitution devolved sporting and sports promotion to our county governments, we must call upon our governors to take up sports as seriously as they should. We should see governors investing heavily, not only in infrastructure, but also in the youth development of our sports people. Because when our sports people are discovered young, then that talent can be grown to the level which we are seeing happening in places like Rwanda. Mr. Speaker, I really would like to support, and I'm looking forward to the third reading and the committee of the whole house so that I can put in some good input into this very good legislative effort by Honorable Irene Mayeka Nyakarerio. Congratulations, my former committee member in the committee of CII, and I know you're doing amazing jobs as a chairperson in another committee, from the committee that has produced more chairpersons than any other committee in the life of this 13th Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Very well. Before the next speaker, let's acknowledge in the presence of both the Speaker's Gallery and the Public Gallery the following schools. Silibwet Junior of Kurusoi South Constituency, Nakuru. We also have Magenge Mixed Senior School of Bomachoge Borabu in Kisii. And also we have Kiunoyani Primary and Junior School from Makueni in Makueni County. And also have St. Paul's School from Samburu Central Constituency, Samburu County. And finally, the Modern Academy School from Kiminini, Trans Nzoia County. The Honorable Zamzam, and then we can come to the Honorable Meli.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze kumpongeza dadangu mdogo wangu Mheshimiwa Irene Mayaka kwa kuweza kuleta marekebisho katika katiba ibara 24A ambayo yameonelea kuwa ni muhimu sana, na sote katika bunge hili na imani sote tunaona kuwa ikiwa kutakuwa na udanganyifu katika michezo, wewe kama referee unalipwa kihongo, unaambiwa nataka ule mpira ukienda hivi piga firimbi useme umekwenda hivi. Mheshimiwa Spika, haya ni mambo ambayo yanatendeka sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Unaangalia goalkeeper Yeye mpira unakuja vizuri ambao anaweza kaushika Mheshimiwa Spika, anaacha mpira uingie ndani. Kwa sababu gani? Amepewa kitu kidogo ili ile timu nyingine iweze kushinda. Mheshimiwa Spika, huu udanganyifu umeweza kuwafanya wanamichezo wengi, hasa katika soka, wengi wamekuwa na kuvunjika moyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, watoto wetu kule Mombasa, nikiangalia kutoka Shanzu mpaka kule Punguvila, Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia watoto kutoka Mbuta wanang'ang'ana, wanacheza mpira mpaka wanaongaonga, wanatafuta, yani wanaungaunga wapate pesa waweze kuja kushindana na timu za kutoka nje ya kaunti yao. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo kama haya ndio yanafanya wale wanaisha nguvu. Unaona timu imekaa vizuri, unaona kabisa vizuri hii timu ndio imeelekea kupata ushindi na inacheza vizuri, lakini kile ukiangalia refa, ukiangalia goalkeeper, ana mchezo wa goji kirba. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hino sheria ikiweza kuwekwa na kuzingatiwa, na hata nimemsikia ndugu yangu akisema kuwa hawa wasipewe faini ya juu. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwizi ni mwizi, japo mdogo ni mwizi. Anaanza na chini, akifika juu atakuwa shabobea. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo ikiwa hapa chini katika hizi tournaments zetu, na Mheshimiwa amezungumza, Mheshimiwa Kiare, hizi mpira na mimi naona ilikuwa wabunge wanafanya vizuri sana. Siku hizi mmeziweka katika kaunti, hatusikii mpira wala ukwaju. Mheshimiwa Spika, watoto wamekaa wanahangaika kule chini, skuli zikifungwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuoni hizi mpira zikifanywa. Mimi ningeomba ziweze kuregeshwa katika kitengo cha wabunge ili waweze kuendelea na kazi nzuri ambayo walikuwa wanaifanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, hii faini ya milioni 1, mimi nasema Mheshimiwa Mayaka umeka chini sana. Manake sisi tukitaka kupigana na ukora, tukitaka kupigana na hongo, ubadhirifu katika taifa, lazima tuweke sheria ambazo ni sheria ngumu. Mtu akifikiria anaenda kufungwa gerezani, anaenda kulipa milioni 5, mtu anaamua hapana, mimi sitaki hongo, acha nifanye haki, nisimame na haki. Na hivyo ndio taifa takavyokwenda mbele. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo hata nimemsikia Mheshimiwa Undo akisema sijui linda nani. Ikiwa hii ndio vile unavyotaka kuja na hiyo nani hiyo yenu, basi itakuwa Kenya mwairegesha miaka 60 nyuma. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi hapa mahali tumekaa na naangalia ile ilikuwa manifesto ya baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Ni baba Raila Amolo Odinga alisema nataka Kenya iwe na infrastructure, iwe na miundo misingi, iwe inaweza kukaa vizuri. Lakini Mheshimiwa Undo nimeona ni wenu kule akizungumza kuwa hataki hayo maendeleo, anataka freedom of speech. Mheshimiwa Spika, uhuru wa kuzungumza huko, lakini huo uhuru wa kuzungumza atakuja kuulizwa, tunataka ajira hana, tunataka hospitali hana, tunataka sijui stadium hana. Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima wajue kiongozi wa taifa ni yule ambaye amekaa kaelekea vizuri, akajua hawa vijana oil refinery ikija kule Lamu, ile oil refinery inaweza kufungua uchumi wa taifa, vijana wote wakapata ajira pale ndani ya bahari. Kila dakika 4 iwe meli inaingia ya kuleta vifaa na kuleta biashara, vijana watakuwa wanajiajira. Na hiyo ndio akili ya William Samoei Ruto. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo ilikuwa tu by the way niweze kumwelekeza ndugu yangu Undo, nimwambie wakati mwingine kama mnajipanga katika uongozi wa juu, ndio kama vile Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto anasema jipangeni na mimi nimejipanga. Kwa hiyo sisi tunajua pale mbele mambo yatakuwa sawa, nyinyi njooni na sisi tutakuja, lakini Kenya wanataka maendeleo. Mheshimiwa Spika, nikirudi katika mada ya leo, ukiangalia katika ya kimataifa, wale ambao wamesimamia michezo katika anga za kimataifa wameweka penalties ama wameweka fine ambayo ni kubwa sana, na wameweka mazingatio mazito ambayo kwamba hata ule mpira wa kitaifa sisi leo tunaupenda. Mimi ni Manchester United, baba alikuwa Arsenal, lakini mimi nilimpenda hivyo hivyo japokuwa mimi ni Manchester United. Mheshimiwa Spika, utaona Kenya kila mtu anakimbia ule mpira wa kimataifa. Kwa nini? Umewekwa kwenye nidhamu kuanzia chini mpaka pale ulipofika juu. Lakini ukija hapa Kenya katika taifa letu, watu wanahongwa huku, mwingine anahongwa huku, mwingine hata leo sasa mimi nikijaribu kuzungumza, jamani, mheshimiwa tu hapa anatuambia kuwa hii itolewe. Jamani, inatolewa vipi? Sisi wenyewe tuwaona ni ndogo hii fine, kwa sababu tunataka na sisi tupate kina Ronaldo kutoka hapa Kenya. Tunataka na sisi tucheze mpira kama vile Cameroon, kama vile South Africa, na wengine wanabobea, wanafika katika anga za kimataifa. Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini hii match fixing na betting ndo zimekuja kuharibu hili taifa. Mimi kama hao mambo yanaendelea, mimi nazidi kuyakemea na nikwambie Mheshimiwa Irene Mayaka, Kisii ama ni wapi kule Nyamira. Nyamira, msipomchagua huyu mama kama mama kaunti wenu, tumregeshe hapa bunge, haya mambo mazuri anayopangia taifa hamtaweza kuyaona. Kwa hiyo mimi nakupongeza sana, na niseme Mheshimiwa Spika, mgema kisifiwa tembo ulitia maji. Na hapa tulipofika sasa ni mambo kangaja huenda yakaja na yashafika bungeni. Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima tuangalie hino sheria iweze kupita. Mimi nangoja kuja kusoma mara ya 3 Mheshimiwa Spika, niweze kujikakamua kama mama Mombasa County ambayo tulikuwa na kina Abbas, the best goalkeeper in Kenya ilikuwa Mahmoud Abbas kutoka Mombasa County, lakini walikuwa na nidhamu wakati wa kina Mlamba, wakina nani, nilikuwa nasikia tu ule mpira ukichengwa chengwa, sisi tulikuwa wadogo, lakini ilikuwa mpira unachezwa kwa nidhamu. Saizi watu wamezunguka watoto wadogo wale, vingine wanawafanya vingine. Hata Mheshimiwa Mayaka, ni jambo lingine ambalo ungeweza kulieka pale. Wengine watoto wanaenda kucheza mpira vizuri, yule goalkeeper anarudi nyuma anafanya pia, yule ambaye anawafunza kule anarudi nyuma anawafanya mambo mengine. Kwa hiyo ni mambo ambayo tuangalie toka chini tunavyokuza talanta. Hii sheria iweze kufuatwa kwa msururu ambao uko sawa. Watoto wetu wakienda kucheza mpira pia waangalie viwanja vyao viko sawa. Ndio maana unaona hapa wengine hawataka kusema Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini mimi najua ile Talanta Stadium inawaumiza wengi sana. Haijajengwa pale Nairobi peke yake. Kule Mombasa pia tuna stadium yetu ambayo ilikuwa imekaa, lakini Mheshimiwa Rais ametuwekea 1.5 billion ili tuweze kukuza talanta za watoto wetu. Ukiangalia pale Likoni kumewekwa stadium nyingine. Ukienda kule Kwale, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna stadium kubwa ambayo imejengwa na William Samoei Ruto. Kwa hiyo sisi tunasema mtu akiwa anafanya kazi apewe sifa yake. Na nyinyi mtazungumza hapa kwa sababu ulianza. Mimi mambo mama Mombasa huwa anajua kuyamaliza. Wewe umeanza ukatuambia sijui tuende wapi, tuende Linda, hatuendi Linda. Sisi tumekaa hapa mahali pamenyooka, stadium tunaona, barabara tunaziona, miundo misingi tunaiona, na William Samoei Ruto ametujengea watoto wetu ma stadium ya talanta. Huyu ndio sisi tunasema tuenda naye. Na hii ibara 64(1)(a), hii mimi nakwambia dadangu Irene, umefanya kazi nzuri sana. Watoto wetu waweze kuangaliwa, hakuna mambo ya kuiba mpira, kwa sababu hivyo ndio wengine pengine wamepanga wizi mwingine tofauti, sio? Lakini huu mpira ukianza kuibwa sasa na sisi tunyamaze, wataiba zile fans, wataiba wakiendelea mbele na mbele. Kwa hiyo sisi tunazuia corruption kuanzia hapa chini mpaka kufika juu. Lakini kwa haya yote mimi nashukuru Mheshimiwa Spika, na nasema Kenya imenyoka. Na imenyoka. Uliona vile walikuwa confused jana kwa TV. Kenya imenyoka na William Samoei Ruto. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Kiswahili kali sana. Order members, let me further acknowledge in the presence of Speaker's Gallery the following schools: Nakuru East Primary and Junior School from Nakuru North Constituency, Nakuru County. We also have the Shainas Education Center from Keses constituency, Uasin Gishu. And let me give the Honorable Barongo to just welcome the schools. He also plays number 5 for Bunge FC, but you're not speaking on this now. Just welcome the schools.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And thank you also for, praising my football prowess on the pitch. Let me also acknowledge your incredible talent. Recently, you have made moves that have really amazed a lot of us on that pitch. May you continue doing that. I would like to take great pleasure to welcome Magenge Senior School, seated in the gallery, and also to welcome the other accompanying schools to the House of Parliament. Magenge is one of the most popular schools in my constituency that has consistently posted excellent results over the years, preparing so many students and Kenyans for greater careers in their lives. I would like to welcome you to the House of Parliament. Here we oversight, we represent, and we legislate on behalf of Kenyans. And I want to wish you very well as you continue exploring in and out of the precincts of Parliament. And as you will be heading home, I would like to wish you a safe journey. In conclusion, I know that today you did not use your own means to arrive here, but in the final year of my term, we are allocating some money to buy your bus so that in future you can regularly visit Parliament and enjoy that which clearly is meant to open your eyes to the future that is great, and we wish you very well in your studies as you continue to study. And I want to say that I'm very proud of the work that the teachers are doing, the work that you're doing, and I'm proud of the parents who continue to sustain you as you pursue your education.
Very well.
I thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. The Honorable Julius Meli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the Sports Amendment Bill 2026 by Honorable Irene Mayaka. This bill, Mr. Speaker, speaks to actually the discipline that is supposed to be in the sports industry. Mr. Speaker, as much as we talk about the multi-billion business in the sports is as old as mankind. It has been practiced by cultures, by communities across several generations. And every sport, Mr. Speaker, is a sport of contests. It can be done by individuals, either in form of athletics or track. It can also be done by teams, Mr. Speaker, especially maybe football, basketball, name them. There are so many teams that participate in sports. Mr. Speaker, this bill is actually the software which we need in this country to manage sports and put Kenya the rightful place in the international arena. Mr. Speaker, our president has done immensely, especially in establishing sports fields, stadiums. Every county, most of our counties today, I was in Wajir, we were in Busia, we were in Bungoma when we had Madaraka Day. The kind of what our president has done in a record 3 years, very few administrations in this country have done since independence. When we look at Talanta Stadium, or what we call Raila Odinga International Stadium, it is one of its own kind in this region. No country can compare with it in this particular part of the world. To make sports actually a game that is going to be very supportive, that is going to thrills everyone. For example, what we are talking about as we speak today, when you see football in this country, and many members in this house are fans of football, and every time when a game is played and there is no discipline, there is much manipulation, there is much bribery, there is much corruption, you'll realize that Kenyans across at times participate in betting. Mr. Speaker, what this bill tries to cure is to really to bring discipline into the football games, into all sporting activities. And it is putting Kenya in the world map. Every sport or every time a game is manipulated, let me use that right word, it is actually results are corrupted. Every time a sport is bribed, the faith and the discipline and even the enthusiasm of the sports person or morale goes down. In effect, as a teacher, Mr. Speaker, you'll realize that students, fans fight and they cause serious injuries, even as a result of this manipulation. They even actually demotivates the players themselves. I've seen cases where we have match fixing. Match fixing actually kills the morale of the coach, it kills the morale of the participants, it kills the morale of the fans, it kills the morales of the sponsors, the people who give money to ensure that these games go on. So in effect, this bill is trying to create actually an environment where we are going to grow sports in this country and make Kenya the star of Africa as it is, and to make it a place where we can host international sports. In this particular bill, Mr. Speaker, I want to just say that Irene has done a good job, and especially on 2 or 3 main issues. One, in section 2, or cap 2 to 3, she tries to explain, this bill tries to explain what is sports manipulation. What does it entail? Up to now, the sports amendment bill or the sports bill has never explained about issues of manipulation, fixing, bribery, and even buying. Let me use, not buying or participating in corrupt deals to actually give wrong results. In clause 2, in clause 3, Mr. Speaker, it gives powers to Sports Kenya. This is an institution which is very strong in this country, to investigate, to bring into book people involved in manipulating results out of sports. Mr. Speaker, this has been actually wanting. Every other time when we have issues of sports manipulation or actually manipulating results, the victims end up without any recourse. But now this bill gives powers to Sports Kenya to carry out the investigation, give reports, and be able to table those reports and take corrective measures to those who are involved in it. Honorable Speaker, this is a very important thing. When you look at the Football Federation, when you look at the Olympic Games, when you look at all Africa Games and all sporting entities across the globe, they have a cause of recourse in the event that there's a dispute that arises out of match manipulation. Mr. Speaker, we also have the issue of Sports Tribunal. Actually, it gives the mandate of Sports Kenya to ensure that the Sports Tribunal be able to listen and be able to carry out a determination if there is any dispute arising out of the manipulation that is coming out. And more importantly, if there's a dispute that has come out of any football, any track field events, or any other particular activity. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that we need to know as a country, Kenya is actually the sporting nation #1 of Africa. And we say this has arisen out of what our government has done. If you look at all our regions, sportsmen, you can find coaches who actually try to induce athletes to actually take drugs enhancing, what we call energy enhancing drugs. That is part and parcel of what we are calling manipulation. The coaches, all the people involved are ruining lives of youngsters. They are ruining their future by just manipulating them, by not telling them good results come out of discipline. Good results come out of proper training. Good results come out of persistent competition. In this particular case, this bill is going to treat and carry out penalties on individuals. I want to disagree with Honorable Undo, who is one of our good members of this House, that the penalties that we are given in section 5(4) are not very punitive. Imagine the lives of youngsters ruined as a result of match fixing. For example, an upcoming football club. For example, an upcoming athlete who has been cheated or who has been actually induced by coaches to take enhancing drugs to participate in athletics. They will never recover. And the penalty that we have here is even, I want to say, is not punitive enough to stop this very bad behavior. Honorable Speaker, you will realize that the standing of Kenya in the international field is going to be at a very high level out of this bill. That right now we will be recognized as having a discipline, a working legislative act, which will be able to allow even more international sporting activities to be carried out in this country. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, you'll realize that this particular bill is looking into that Kenya sports betting industry. I want to speak to that because we bet for good results. Youngsters and people across the globe have a very strong market through proper run games. Imagine individuals, investors have put their money and the sport is manipulated. They lose trust and then therefore the industry will collapse. And this one is a very important thing. Lastly, Look at our schools. And I want to laud what our government has done, Honorable Speaker. That the president has managed to employ 120,000 teachers to carry out learners and develop talents. The employment of 120,000 teachers is equivalent to, Honorable Speaker, and I want to tell the country, about 24 years. By previous administration, I've been employing 2,500, at most 5,000. 2,500, 5,000. It will have taken this country a record 30 or 40 years to employ that group of teachers. And this is where talent are being actually developed, it is being grown, and we are asking that let this talent of sports be disciplined from basic school all the way to universities. I support, and I think we need.
Daktari Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in appreciating the good work being done by Honorable Mayaka, who happens to be the chairperson of my committee. It's a statement of fact, Honorable Speaker, that Honorable Mayaka, being a first-termer, has actually performed beyond expectation. And that's why she has won a number of awards for the good work she is doing. And this is one of them. The Sports Amendment Bill 2026, Honorable Speaker. When I look at this bill, Honorable Speaker, it is a bill which is intended to provide a legal framework which at the end of the day will improve integrity of our sports in the country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this animal called sports manipulation, or fixing of matches, Honorable Speaker, it's a common problem. And it should be of concern to every Kenyan, either a sportsman or a sportswoman, that this is happening. Why am I saying so, Honorable Speaker? This is because the manipulation, Honorable Speaker, renders a number of things some of the things become very, very useless. One of them, Honorable Speaker, is that we know it takes a lot of time to train to be an excellent sports person. And in a situation where we allow fixing of either a match or an event, Honorable Speaker, what happens is basically then, Honorable Speaker, that effort is actually not rewarded accordingly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have also seen a case where a team or an individual would underperform for purposes of the opponent winning for a desired future gain, Honorable Speaker, so that at the end of the day, you underperform so that the other person wins, and at the end of the day, then you are able to be rewarded for that, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, what has that done? It makes teams, Honorable Speaker, which are not the best win. And imagine, Honorable Speaker, you have gone to a stadium, Honorable Speaker, and you have paid for your ticket, hoping that you will get the best out of the match, and then at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, there is match fixing, and the team, which is not the best team, wins. I'm sure you agree with me, Honorable Speaker, that you will not have gotten value for money. So in that case, Honorable Speaker, I think that's why I want to agree with these amendments. And one of them, which I totally agree with the Honorable Speaker, and I wish there was a way of enhancing it, is how we are saying, if you are caught to have participated in manipulation of either a match or another thing, Honorable Speaker, that you pay a fine of 1 million shillings. Honorable Speaker, I think really this should be enhanced so that the penalty becomes more punitive, Honorable Speaker, and then in that case, then you can stop this thing. The other thing, and which is also very interesting, Honorable Speaker, is what we are saying, that, Honorable Speaker, if it happens that you have manipulated a match, Honorable Speaker, the proceeds of that should also be taken over by the state. Another good proposal, Honorable Speaker, because there will be then no reason why it should go to that extent to manipulate, Honorable Speaker. The other thing also, Honorable Speaker, is addressing is the tribunal, Honorable Speaker, the sports tribunal, where we are saying in case you feel like you want to appeal, then we give you an opportunity, and this is important, Honorable Speaker, so that we don't punish people who might not have participated effectively in the manipulation. I think that is really good for this country, so that we don't just lock the door that if you are caught, you are punished, and you can't appeal. And I think the appealing process, Honorable Speaker, will allow people then to say, I'm not the one who either initiated it, or I was not an active participant in the manipulation, Honorable Speaker. But, Honorable Speaker, looking at this bill, Honorable Speaker, I think really Kenya is a country, because we are a very serious country when it comes to sports, we would gain much by passing this bill. And that's why I think really we are enhancing the existing act so that we get it right, Honorable Speaker, and more so in the area of legal framework. That at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, we will be able to see fair competition, so that if I'm the best, I come out as the best. And on the basis of emerging out as the best, Honorable Speaker, I'm rewarded accordingly. To me, that is very, very important. And that's why I want to join all the colleagues who have spoken about this bill, Honorable Speaker. That's why I want to say I really support it 100%, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I'm saying I'll be, during the third reading, I'll be here to make sure that all these amendments, Honorable Speaker, are carried. I would just wish that, Honorable Speaker, that we've seen a situation where the second reading takes place. I know now we have about a year to go, Honorable Speaker. Because I've been in this House for long, I hope that the House business will be able to fast track the third reading so that we get this bill behind us. Otherwise, we will not be surprised, Honorable Speaker, to find this coming the next Parliament. So we have about 6 months of active work in the House, because I'm sure from March not many people will be here. So I wish that we could just fast track it and this becomes an act of Parliament. It will help this country. It will go a long way, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that our sportsmen and women are rewarded accordingly. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I want to support this bill and wish Mayaka well as she moves to the next stage with this bill. Thank you.
Very well, honorable members. We have the following schools in the public gallery and the speaker's gallery, and we want to acknowledge their presence in this house. Itibo Boys Primary School from Kitutu Church North, Kisii County. We also have Chemamul Boys High School from Belgut, Kericho. And we also have Mount Ararat Shiner School from Anaiboi, Ainabkoi constituency in Uasin-Gishu. And then we have Sururu Second School from Njoro constituency in Nakuru. Having done that, the next to speak on this is the Honorable Karoli Omondi. Okay, let me allow the Honorable Member for Kisii to welcome the students, and then we can listen to...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, it's a privilege to have our daughters and sons in the house, and I want to welcome them, all of you. It's a privilege. I don't take it for granted. You will learn so many things on responsibilities. When you go back home, you will have a lot of stories to tell your friends, even your parents. You know, the first time when we came to Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, is when we had finished Form 4. So when I look up at Itibo from Kisii, I see their young girls and boys, their young boys and the other schools. So work hard, it really pays. You are not doing it for your parents or your friends, you are doing it for yourself. Believe in yourself. The best gift you can give yourself is to work hard, obey your teachers, avoid exchanging love letters. The beautiful ones are not yet born. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I would want to ask the Honorable Karoli, maybe allow other members to speak to this, because you are representing the chair. and then we bring you later. So let's have Honorable Jalango.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I want to, from the onset, appreciate Maureen Mayaka, Irene Mayaka, for this bill. And I will want to first really dispute the punity that we want to deal with those people who are involved in match fixing. Match fixing is criminal. Some of us here were born, and it is our talents that got us to be known, to be able to make a name and even be here. Can you imagine if everything that you are doing is already predetermined? Match fixing, Your Excellency, number one, creates loss of trust. Loss of trust in the competition, loss of trust in the games, loss of trust even in the players. I really know that even you, Mr. Speaker, seated there today, you would have wished to be in the gallery today to speak into this as a sportsman. It would be very sad that you are able to train and be able to push yourself, hoping for